securities attorney Laura Anthony, founding partner of Legal and Compliance, a full-service corporate securities and business transactions law firm. Today is the continuation in a Lawcast series talking about the recent SEC investigation and report on initial cryptocurrency offerings, or ICOs. On July 25th, 2017, the SEC issued its report on an investigation into an ICO and related activities by the DAO, which is an unincorporated entity, Slock.it, a German corporation, and various principals and participants in the offering. Today, I am going through the relevant facts related to the DAO and the ICO on which the SEC relied upon in reaching its conclusions in its report. In a one-month period, from April 30th through May 28, 2016, the DAO offered and sold 1.15 billion DAO tokens in exchange for 12 million Ether, called ETH, valued at approximately 150 million US dollars. ETH is a virtual currency. The Financial Action Task Force defines a virtual currency as a digital representation of value that can be digitally traded and functions as, one, a medium of exchange, or 2, a unit of account, or 3, a store of value, but does not have legal tender status in any jurisdiction. Legal tender status means when it's tendered to a creditor, it is a valid and legal offer of payment. Virtual currency is not issued or guaranteed by any jurisdiction and fulfills the mentioned functions only by agreement within the community of users of that virtual currency. Virtual currency is distinguished from fiat currency, also known as real currency, real money, or national currency, which is the coin and paper money of a country that is designated as its legal tender, circulates, and is customarily used and accepted as a medium of exchange in the issuing country. Virtual currency is distinct from e-money, which is a digital representation of fiat currency used to electronically transfer value denominated in fiat currency, like Apple Pay. The DAO itself was created by the founders of Slock.it as a type of alternative corporation with all corporate functions and governance automated using blockchain and smart contracts. The DAO was the first generation of its kind. Participants sent in ETH in exchange for the DAO tokens. DAO token holders could vote on projects to be used with the DAO assets. The DAO assets were the ETH, which could be exchanged for fiat currency and other physical or digital assets. And token holders could participate in rewards, such as profit distributions and dividends. The entire DAO is intended to be autonomous, such that project proposals were in the form of smart contracts and voting administered by computer code. The DAO code was launched on the Ethereum blockchain. The DAO promoted itself through a website which described its purpose. This is what it said: to blaze a new path in business for the betterment of its members, existing simultaneously nowhere and everywhere, and operating solely with the steadfast iron will of unstoppable code. The website also contained information about how it operated, its source code, and a link to buy the DAO tokens. The DAO was also promoted through media attention and numerous social media channels. Anyone was eligible to purchase DAO tokens as long as they paid in ETH, and there were no limitations on the number of DAO tokens offered for sale or the number that could be purchased by any single purchaser. There were no parameters set on the accreditation or sophistication level of a purchaser. Anyone with ETH and an ETH blockchain address could participate. All ETH from the DAO token sales were aggregated in the DAO's Ethereum blockchain address. Only DAO token holders could submit proposal projects in which the DAO might participate, and each proposal would have to involve a smart contract and comply with the preset DAO token holders voting code. Projects would be approved by a majority vote of DAO token holders. Before being submitted for a vote, projects would be reviewed by human curators. Although beyond the scope of this Lawcast series, there appeared to be many issues with the system, including the programming for voting. The DAO tokens were unrestricted, and there were several platforms that allowed for the immediate secondary trading of the DAO tokens. The secondary market trading platforms were registered with the Federal Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, and money services businesses, and were considered money services businesses. The DAO tokens were in fact actively traded on various platforms. I'm securities attorney Laura Anthony, founding partner of Legal and Compliance and producer of Lawcast. Should you have any questions about today's topic, please visit securitieslawblog.com and lawcast.com or contact me directly. Inquiries of a technical nature are always encouraged.